Hey folks, welcome. My name is Andrew, this is What I Do, and today we're taking a look at the adventurous world of teaching English in China.
There is a whole world of jobs out there, most of which we've never heard of. Let's explore that world together.
To help navigate us along our scholastic Asiatic journey is Richard. Richard, thanks for joining me today.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me, Andy.
Excellent. All the way from China, no less. Which part of China are you in at the moment?
So right now I'm in Wangjing, which is in the northeast of Beijing. So Beijing, the capital city.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. So tell us a little bit about what you currently do.
Right now, I am a VR presenter or VR teacher. So that's a virtual reality teacher or presenter. And I teach English using a camera and a green screen. I record educational content, usually cartoons and interactions with other virtual reality objects and scenarios. And we teach English to kindergarten up to adult level. So yeah, that's right. A very short, basic description of what I do.
Right. So are you sort of standing there like a human character in amongst these animations, and you're sort of interacting with them?
Absolutely, yeah. So just like Dora the Explorer, or like Blue's Clues, or maybe even Kidio, if you want to use a South African reference, or because they're using dolls back then. But you stand in this environment, and I pretend to speak to characters. So we have Benny and Casey and Abby. And we have an adventure. We use props as well. So, let's say the target language or target for the week or for this lesson is the zoo, and animals at the zoo will arrive at a scenario and very much like an actor pretend to, be like, oh, look, there's an elephant. Everyone, let's say elephant. Let's look at some flashcards about elephant. And then maybe we'll have a prop, and then we'll walk into the next scene. So it's kind of like acting meets teaching. And it's all obviously with camera.
Right. Awesome. Okay, so I suppose a really important question there is, how did you get into such a niche position?
Yeah, so it is a very niche, part of the sector. So if I was speaking about a sector, obviously it's education. That's the broadest sector, but it's obviously teaching as a foreign language.
Yeah,
full sort of area.
Did you have to get a TEFL certification to begin at all?
So there's, it depends which country you go to. It depends which company you work for. So generally, yes, you do need a TEFL or a TESOL, or if you want to go really technical, a CELTA. Those are the big three qualifications that people have in the industry. But you don't necessarily have to have one of those. So if you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, so I have a master's degree, you can also get into the industry using one of those. Generally, though, you obviously will get better offers, and generally people have a bachelor's degree and then a TEFL or TESOL. You can also then become, actual qualified teachers. You do have actual what's called QTS, qualified teacher status, when you have a PGCE, a postgraduate certificate in education. So those are those are the qualifications that you'll usually hear around this industry. Yeah, and with that combination, you can then get into teaching a TEFL job, teaching English job in China or Vietnam or Thailand or South Korea. Those are the big ones in East Asia, and Japan too.
Okay, awesome. That was very thorough. Thank you. So you said that you didn't really start doing those video lessons. Where did this start for you? So you got your master's, and then what? Right.
So it was actually while I was doing my master's. So my master's also has nothing to do with education. Actually, it's in public development something. I don't even know what it was anymore. But while I was studying for that, I obviously came across and saw an offer to teach English online as a part-time thing. So 3 hours every 5 days. So Monday to Saturday, 3 hours. And I saw the offer, which is quite good, particularly if in some countries like South Africa, these jobs are paying you in US dollars. So you can start at $15, which is not that much money, but in South Africa, it's actually quite good, particularly if you're a student.
Yeah. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's $1 bill.
And that's how I got into it. It was just a part-time thing to cover some bills while I was a student, and realized that I enjoyed it, realized that I was quite good at it. And got lots of students, and then got offered more jobs, and then was teaching pretty much full-time online, webcam based, very much like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the considerations is time zones. So I was teaching, like midnight and one of the early hours of the morning if I wanted to get, lots of classes. But yes, so started as a part-time thing while I was studying using a webcam, online based stuff. And then I got some experience and I realized I enjoyed it. And then I got offered a full-time role in China at a recording studio. Yeah.
So we know a little bit of what you do with the green screen, but if you could maybe describe what either the average day or the average week looks like. What does your sort of production pipeline look like, your business cycle?
Sure. We obviously do recorded classes. So some companies do live, where they have, a screen being broadcasted to schools all over the country or learning centers all over the country. I used to do that. But my current job, it's all recorded. So nothing is live. Yeah. On a Monday, we obviously have a team meeting. First thing is to discuss the schedule, discuss what we're shooting this week. You'll obviously have other presenters who work with you, usually only a few of you, because of course you're recording. So you'll then sit there and discuss any issues. And then once that's gone through, you've discussed the plan for the week. You'll have teams of filming teams, basically, who then have a specific product, a specific class and level that they're teaching or recording for. So, for example, myself, I do the pre-S4 level. And I do S3 as well. So depending on what's required for that week, pre-S4 will book me and we will then head off down. So usually after the morning meeting, head off down to one of the studios and set up. Obviously, I'll have my script and we'll have a translator to help me because obviously the crew is all Chinese.
Right.
Hence why I'm teaching English, of course, because no one can speak English. So then we'll get ready. We'll... hair, makeup, props, lights, camera, all of that stuff. Obviously get the green screen ready and then we'll shoot. We obviously shoot because it's recorded. We can shoot in cuts or scenes. So we'll shoot, a very short scene, act it out. We'll then, the director, who's an actual director who literally says action, will, then also look at the scene and we'll maybe reshoot it or change this. And then we'll do that till lunch, take lunch, and then continue after. Obviously, each week is slightly different. So you might have some filming on Monday straight away in the morning, or you might only have stuff in the afternoon. So if while you're not filming, you will then go upstairs to the office space with all the other staff and you'll be doing script writing. So you'll write some stories. You'll do proofreading of language. You'll be doing the more of the teacher stuff. So you'll be checking the English and explaining stuff and answering the questions. So there's a lot of materials that the company makes. So our product on an app. So everything's being viewed by an app. So the students interact with you on an app. You're a little person on an app. They, play games and various things built into the class. But there's also lots of other material. So exercise books, some games and all types of things. So you're generally also spending a lot of time explaining and trying to check whether stuff is correct. For example, we had a conversation about corals and coral. And believe it or not, corals are the living thing, and you use an uncountable noun to describe them. And coral, the hard object, is countable, a countable noun. So this was a big thing. I didn't know this, so I had to research today and found out that there is indeed coral and corals, and there's two different nouns there. And so that's the kind of stuff that you'll be checking the English, basically.
So in that sort of process, that big process, what's the most sort of either exciting day or the most exciting topic? Like what gives you the most fulfillment?
So for me, there's two things. One is I never get to see my students ever. So what's really enjoyable for me is when I see a recording of maybe a parent behind filming like their kid interacting with the iPad or a classroom where they're using the material in a classroom. So when I see 20 kids or even one kid, practicing the language and engaging and enjoying it, that's very rewarding to see
awesome.
The output. You're teaching, giving someone a language, a very abstract but also real thing. That's number one. Number two is it's quite fun to get into character and to, come up with a scenario and come up with a story. So we can also come up with our own story. So there's target language. We need to teach Pebble and marble and stone and sink.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
So you're like, okay, well, let's make a story about someone skimming stones, and then you can, speak to the director, you hash it out and have a discussion session, and you can come up with some really fun scenarios. So last year, we got a broom involved. I was flying through the air. I was a witch or a wizard, I suppose. And it's really, you can have a lot of fun with that too. Yeah. So you can make your own world in a sense.
Is there anything that you find really dislikable about your job?
Yeah,
unlikable?
No.
I'm not sure what the prefix is there. You should be able to help me out with that one, actually.
Right, a challenge there. I don't know. Something that is not as enjoyable as other parts of the job. Momentum. So record something and there's a lot of energy. You have to be excited or you have to be scared or happy. And that's the character or the face that you put on in the preceding scene. And then you have to stop. And there's a big stoppage and we're changing something or someone's interrupted us or whatever. And then it's to try and turn and match that sort of moment straight again. It's sort of, you control your, you have to be able to, output an emotion and a sort of character in an instant, switch it on and off. And sometimes it can be quite tough to do that. I mean, it's not I wouldn't say that's my most difficult part. That's just one of the challenges.
Is that sort of paired with the lack of feedback as well? So it's a break in continuity, but then you're also not getting that audience response to kind of fuel that energy. Yeah,
that's also it too. Yes, yeah. That's another thing. I think that is a challenge. I mean, I don't mind that so much because I'm quite used to imagining what the audience or the students are going to be doing. But sometimes it is a factor. It is a big factor because you have to think about what's going to be happening, what they're going to be doing while you're doing it. So you give a statement, they're going to be speaking. Okay, now I can respond. So I have to pretend like I'm actually there. It's shot as if I'm actually there.
Yeah.
So I have to pretend to actually be listening. Yeah. But I think, these are just sort of parts of the job that are just, hurdles to get through. I wouldn't say that they're the most difficult part. I think probably the most unpleasant is perhaps sometimes it's a bit repetitious. So, because you're teaching language, there are certain parts that you have to repeat and they become quite mechanical, So, hello, everyone. The greeting is always pretty much the same. The goodbye is always the same. And of course, there's always a teacher element where you have to sort of be a teacher and you go, okay, let's practice this. And so some of the language is a bit repetitious. Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. So let's get to the sort of people who would either love or hate this job. What sort of person would you recommend? Not just for the sort of the AR teaching that you do, but perhaps even for like the online teaching, the entry level stuff. Who do you think would really love this?
Yeah. So speaking more broadly about teaching English and teaching English online, someone who enjoys obviously children, students, not necessarily only children, but I mean, obviously the majority of education is for children.
Yeah.
There are classes for adults, but there are more classes for children. So you would be better suited if you like children, if you enjoy teaching children.
Right.
Someone who likes language and someone who likes to see someone learning. So if you like to see the output, so if you like to see the effect of what you're doing. So let's say you're teaching, it's very rewarding because you can see the output come back. So you teach a student for months or a year, that you've helped them, a year later, once able to express something, or you can both laugh at a joke together and understand each other.
Yeah.
You've helped. That's a real, best part of human development that I think, someone who's very much a people's person would like that part of the job and would then like this job by extension. You need to try and then also be quite empathetic.
Yeah.
If you're able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and see that they're struggling with something and be able to think of a way that will engage them. Yeah, someone who's good at thinking on their feet or likes to think on their feet. So you've got to be creative and dynamic, for lack of a better term. So you have your lesson plan. You've decided we're teaching this word. I'm going to be doing this activity. And, I've got Sam, Paul, Mary, and Sally in the class, and I know how to interact with them. But all of a sudden, they don't understand a word. There's a particular sentence. They don't know what it means. And now the activity that you've got planned is now meaningless. So you now need to try and find a way using either words or drawing or an image to try and then get them to come with you. So it's, a lot of it is instantaneous problem solving. So you have a student that has no idea what this word is, and you can't use that word to explain it to them because, of course, it's language. So it's that kind of stuff, which I enjoy. It's the problem solving, trying to it's almost like charades.
Okay, all right. And then just quickly, who would maybe not like this sort of job? What sort of person could you imagine would struggle?
Yeah, I think someone who doesn't like to talk. You've got to like to talk in this job. So if you're quiet and you are not good at engaging with strangers in speech, and you sort of might be a bit shy, it might not be perfect. I mean, you can still, if you have a one-on-one student like online and you know them, you can still do well. But if you're having 4 students and you're the teacher and you have to try and capture their attention, you might struggle. If you're quiet, if you're shy, and if you might be, I don't know, if you're not good at thinking very quickly and coming up with a solution for an issue, explaining something.
I can imagine people who don't have a lot of patience either. I can imagine that becoming quite an issue.
Oh yes, I think I've overlooked that one. You have students that, of course, sometimes you're talking about basic language, and the student is struggling with some basic terminology, which is normal because they don't speak the language. And for you, it's obvious. You have to wait and draw things out of them, which is the process. That's how it goes. So yes, patience is also important here.
Awesome. All right, thank you. I think you've given me a beautifully detailed description of this job. Is there anything else that you feel you need to add, maybe that I haven't covered?
I mean, on the specifics, there's lots of South Africans doing teaching online and teaching overseas, teaching foreign language. It is really a great opportunity for a lot of people from all over the world, but particularly South Africa. We have a good accent and they like our accent. So
right.
So and I'd say it's a great thing to do. Teaching English is great because you're teaching people how to communicate with each other and giving them a real skill that they will use in their lives. Quite a fulfilling job, yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, taking time out of your busy schedule. So thank you for everything, and cheers.
Yes, thank you, Andy.
So that was teaching English in China. Do you have the intrepid spirit for this career, or do you prefer something a little closer to home? Is there a career you would like to learn about? Maybe you have an interesting career you would like to share. Leave a comment down below. And if you would like to stay up to date with what careers are out there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining. Cheers.